Looks like it's dry enough for us to get back out into the Badlands for the first time in a few days. Been a lot of rain. So we're gonna give it a shot. Get back to fossil hunting.
Yeah, this is going to be a warmer one.
Yep. That's good though. You're wearing less clothing out there. Less weight. Easier to move. It's not going to be Florida warm, so we're good.
Not going to be warm like last year.
Yeah, last year was bad.
Yeah.
Bunch of deer sleeping under that tree till we came along. One brave one staying behind. Yeah, a little rough, a little rough. Thought the road was rough. Now that we're off the road, it's really rough. We're gonna go a little further in. We're just gonna pick up our four-wheeler where we left it, so we can ferry in supplies and people. I don't know if the sound of the frogs is coming through from down that pond down in the valley. Some happy frogs down there. There's been some rain the last few days. A lot of water in that little lake that dries up in the summertime. It's the area we're going to hunt today. This part's very vertical. A lot of climbing. More than a little bit chance of falling and dying. So we got to be careful out here. It's a long way down to the valley. There's a lot of deep holes, a lot of chasms and cracks. So yeah, we got to be a little careful out here. We're just waiting for everybody else to arrive, and we'll all head down together. The ATV's ferrying in equipment and people. Just a couple more people, a little more equipment, we'll be ready to go. And we're hunting down the Badlands. We're all gonna split up, go our separate ways, go check out our favorite hills. I made a beeline for this hill. This hill's produced a lot in the past, so I want to look it over first thing. See if anything new has eroded out since we were here last year. That would be nice. See if we missed anything else previous years. Yep, everybody's heading for their favorite places where they found good stuff before. Okay, let me commence the search in here. Yes, I brought a green bag with me. I'm optimistic. The green bags contain plaster, burlap, and water for making plaster jackets. So I'm hoping I find something. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little further up on this hill in a prominent spot, and I'm going to drop my green bag and my backpack and then really scour this hill carefully. Probably put the camera away too, so I can do it without distractions. don't want to walk past something because I'm trying to film instead of fossil hunt. But if I do find something, I'll show it to you. So this big divot in the side of the hill, almost big enough to park a compact car in, is where Sam found about a 300-pound tortoise fossil a couple of years back. There hasn't been too much erosion since then, so we'll see what, if anything else, has eroded out up here since we were here last year. Well, a couple isolated leg bone pieces here and some tortoise shell are all I've seen so far. Keep hunting this hill. We'll probably be here for an hour or two, even though it's not a big hill. It's been productive, so we'll look at it really closely. All the little nooks and crannies and sides, as well as the top. Found an interesting little bone, not very big. No clue what it could be. I'm not even sure it's 100% fossilized. I mean, it was sticking out of the mud and I had to dig it out. But I don't know, it may have just been buried in the mud by rainfall. But I'm going to try and get an idea on this, if I can get it back to the ranch tonight without breaking it, which it looks awfully delicate, so I don't know. We'll see. And the hunt goes on. Well, I found this. Well, first I saw this chunk of bone right here. Then I saw the end of the rest of the bone. This is broken off of here, going into the hill. So I'm very slowly and carefully excavating to see if there's more of this critter in here. I am not certain at this point just what kind of bone this is. I was thinking leg bone at first, but it's got a bit of a curve to it, so I don't know. And I don't know, it might just be an isolated bone, but I got to probe around and see if there's more of the critter here. And if there is, well, I'm going to be really careful. Might have to jacket it. So let me probe and see. Well, I got these pieces of bone out, and the more I look at it, the more I think that maybe my initial thought that it might be a leg bone is correct. The curve might have come from the breaks in it. But I didn't think there was anything else here, but probing around a little bit, well, I can tell there's some bone there. Do you hear that? That is the sound of my pick hitting bone. You can always tell. Pretty distinctive. So there's more bone down here. I'm going to have to take some of this hill down to expose it. See what in the world we got here, if anything. Might just be a waste of time, but you never know until you actually look. So that's what I'm going to do next. Well, after doing some more digging and exposing, here's a couple more pieces of bone, but that's all there seem to be is little pieces. Maybe tibia and tibia, radius and ulna, I don't know. I haven't got enough of that other bone out to know for sure what it was. But I wouldn't be surprised if those were other smaller leg bones. But I'm not feeling or hearing anything else down in here. Just those little bits of leg bone. But you never know until you dig. I followed a little trace of bone like that into a hill a few years ago and came across some very complete titanothere teeth and bits of skull and other bones. But today, I think this little bone trail has been a road to nowhere. Yeah, these little pieces of bones aren't even worth collecting. So, alright. The hunt goes on. Back to searching. This hole seems to be dry. Maybe I'll probe around for another minute or two and go find my wife and have some lunch. She's hungry. Well, there's a little bit of tooth right there. Maybe even some jaw attached to it. So, let me look around in this area a little bit. Not a very high hill. Got a pretty darn steep drop off though into some holes of indeterminate depth. So I got to be careful where I step, but I'm assuming that's going to have washed down from somewhere up here. So let me look and see very carefully if there's anything eroding out of the matrix in the side or up top here. Just to be certain. Well, I just came across a rock doing a really good job of imitating bone. Came down here, dug it up. Nothing, but look at all the little shards of bone and tortoise shell and even a little bit of a tooth down here in this area. So I guess I better look around in here. There's some whole leg bones up there, small ones, maybe tortoise leg bones. So I guess I better look around in here and see if I can find any real. I mean, there's the end of a leg bone right there for sure. But let me look around and see if there's anything actually worth digging up down here besides rocks. I think it's kind of harsh. I don't know how well you can see this stuff, but there's a lot of rodent material down here, fossilized. I'm thinking this is a rodent incisor right here. There's some other little bits of jaw with some tiny, tiny teeth in it. There's a piece here, some tiny, tiny teeth. There's a piece here, some really, really tiny teeth in it. There's a piece here with some tiny teeth in it. So I think I'm going to collect these and try and figure out what little critter they came from. Now, well, then there's bigger critters on this hill. Pretty sure this is a section of rib bone from something pretty darn big. It was sticking out of the side of the hill, and unfortunately I couldn't find any more of it. Didn't seem to be anything else there. But yeah, I'm going to look around this hill some more. Everybody else has moved on over across the valley there. Including my wife, who's finally made it. And but I think Steve's still over on this side of the valley too. But I'm going to look at this hill some more and collect some of these microfossils down here and see if I can find anything worth digging on this side of the hill. I'm pretty sure nobody else was over here when everybody was scouring these hills. So this is the third owl pellet found on this one hill. Steve found one and I found two now. I'm going to give the ones I found to my wife. She's a bird nut. She likes them. When she has some time, she'll probably pick through it and see what kind of bones are in it from what kind of critter. Steve's is neat because you can see a section of articulated vertebrae going through it. Who knows what's in this one or the other one I found. So I'll get that wrapped up in foil and give it to my wife when I see her. She's over on the other side of the valley now. I'm still on this one hill we started on. Just scouring the heck out of it. So right here, we have a section of jaw with a tooth or two in it from a somewhat larger critter than the little bitty rodents I've been finding on the side of this hill. And over here, we've got an astragalus bone, or foot bone. So there's something a little bigger living up here 30 million years ago. So let me see if I can find anything else further up. Because all this stuff's definitely rolled down from the top somewhere. So what we've got on the side of this hill over here is what's known as an exploded tortoise. A tortoise started eroding out of the hill and nobody saw it. And over the years, decades, the freeze-thaw cycles have just totally destroyed it. The water gets into the gaps in the tortoise shell and freezes, and when it freezes it expands and just pushes the pieces apart. And then the gaps are bigger next year, and the next time it happens, and pretty soon it's nothing left but a bunch of tiny little pieces rolling down the hill, lost forever. So what we're trying to do is find stuff that's just starting to erode out of the hills. So far, no joy on this hill. I have spent about 3 hours on this hill. Everybody else has moved on. Tail end Charlie here. I'm going to finally give up on this hill, I think, and head on to greener, hopefully greener pastures and see if I can find something else. I'm going to start working my way over towards the hill that goes down into the valley, and I can get across the valley and up the hills over there. But I will definitely be hunting on my way, just in case I come across anything cool. Yeah, I'm going to start making my way over to the only climbable hill that goes down to the valley floor. Barely climbable. Took my wife about 20-30 minutes to get down it. Coming up is actually a little easier. Going down is kind of scary. So, work my way over there. Gonna put the camera away, keep my hands free for climbing, and work my way down this hill, and go join the others on the other side of the valley. Unfortunately, at some point, we'll have to come back up. The climb's gonna suck, but going down is the scary part. Coming up is just exertion. Oh, pardon the heavy breathing. Change plans. I got about, I don't know, half to a third of the way down the hill down over here towards the valley, and expedition leader called me and said, "Hey Mike, why don't you turn around, go back up, and drive the ATV down? We'll use it to ferry people and equipment out so they don't have to climb back up." And I'm like, okay. It'll save me from having to climb the whole hill, especially with my pack on my back. So let me put the phone down and negotiate this nodular layer and get back up top here. Well, I brought the four-wheeler around, a couple-mile drive, get down here into the valley, and I'm just gonna hunt out the rest of the day up here on the hills on what we call the backside. You can't really see it, but these hills go on for that way for pretty much forever. So I get to hunting. This is some hard to climb area. I've been up in a couple places. Fell once, fortunately, not really hurt. But yeah, it ain't easy to get up and down out here in the back. It's steep and it's crumbly, especially on these lower layers. These lower lighter layers, they're very crumbly, and it's like walking on ball bearings. So, I don't know. Maybe another Slim Pickens day for me because it's getting late in the afternoon. I'm going to head back over to where everybody else is gathered and see what's going on. I might be pulling this out. My walkie-talkie don't work too good around this side of the hills, so I'm not sure what's going on. Well, we are not alone out here. Yes, there are predators out here. There's plenty of places for them to live. I'll tell you what, I don't see claws in those prints, so I'm thinking bobcat. Yeah, I'm thinking bobcat. We wouldn't be the first one we've seen. In fact, we've seen actual mountain lions out here. And there's plenty of solution holes in these cliffs for them to live in. So, yeah. They don't generally bother us. We see their scat too, but keep a wary eye out for them and don't poke your head too far in the solution holes. Well, it's the end of a fairly non-productive day. I don't think any of us found anything really good. Slim Pickens this year. I was talking to the rancher whose ranch we're on here, that we lease. He said it was a really mild winter. Not a lot of rain, not a lot of snow, so he thinks maybe that's slowed down the erosion out here. And a lot of stuff isn't being, coming to the surface for us to find. But we got a few more days and a few more spots to hunt. Maybe we will get lucky. So, anyway, I'm going to wait my turn to get ferried out of here. And we got a lot of equipment to pick up and get to the trucks, move the trucks, and it is logistics, a lot of logistics. But, yeah, we'll probably be out of here in an hour or so at the most. And tomorrow's another day.